stream your favorites and discover more with the Disney Bundle. Watch the new season of Loki on Disney Plus. On Hulu, fear creeps in with the boogeyman. And touchdown with college football on ESPN Plus. All of these and more streaming now. Get the Disney Bundle with plans starting at $9.99 a month. Plans with ESPN Plus starting at $14.99 a month. Terms apply. See DisneyBundle.com for details.
Benjamin Betts. It's all about the Benjamin Betts, baby. You know what's up? Yes, Benjamin Betts, baby.
Benjamin Betts. Corey, your co-host. I'm sorry. I have another co-host. Where are you at? Are you here?
I'm here, but I feel defeated.
Jared, don't be defeated, man. So you're referencing our 2-4 week.
Yes, and I lost to you by like 50 points, like just an astronomical number in our fantasy football week. Like,
yeah,
it was bad.
It was bad.
It wasn't even ever a game. Like it was like the perfect analogy. I thought I was Detroit going into Baltimore, and I got bitch slapped by Lamar Jackson. Like, that's the best thing I can come up with.
Didn't you say you were our highest point scorer in our fantasy league going into this week?
I was second highest, and that didn't matter.
Laid an egg. This was the best my team will look all year with this week, and it will come crashing back down to earth. But yeah, man, it was set for me. You know, having McCaffrey, you having Kittle could have been a good Monday night game there to finish it off, but it was not to be. It was not to be.
Shannon Sharp's on First Take this morning, like, they shut McCaffrey down and they made Brock Purdy short. That man had 2 touchdowns.
And they did not.
I'm like, what are you talking about, Shannon Sharp?
He only had like 40-something yards on the ground. So he did not have a lot of rushing yards, but he had that 35-yard reception for a TD. He had a fumble. It wasn't, it was like a mediocre McCaffrey game, like 24 fantasy points. Like, that's just not, that's ho-hum for him. So I see. But you know what, Jared? That was last week. And now we're moving into this week. We got some goodies this week. Before we move on from last week, we were close. I know we went 2-4, but we missed the Packers game. That was a very, very close. We had the spread 1.5, and they ended up losing that game in a close game. So that was really not our fault. The Patriots-Bills game, dude, you could play that 10 other times, and that's an under. And the Bills win. I don't know what happened.
I agree. It was just a freak. There were so many freak games. Like, do I think Baltimore is the better team? Yeah, but not like that. Not a shutout.
Not like that. And then, of course, like, I'm gonna give the Bears defense credit because I bet
you're gonna give them credit.
But I will say, with 5:46 left in the game, Cairo Santos kicked a 54-yard field goal, made the game 24-6. That was a combined of 30 points. We had a lot of cushion there. And then pick 6, and then a stupid Las Vegas touchdown screwed us at the end, garbage touchdown. So we should have had that game too. Really, and then the Ravens game, that was just a weird one against Detroit. Really, we could have had a 5-1 week, I think. Easy. We did hit the mortgage. Got the people off our back, which was good. They were knocking the door last week. This will be our first. We're going to string these together now. I'm 4-3 in mortgages. We flip-flopped every week. Win, loss, win, loss, win, loss, win. This is going to be a win this week.
I like it. I like that confidence. If I may I kick us off this week?
Dude, go for it. Go for it.
This first one, I just can't let go of that Detroit game. I can't. I have zero faith in Detroit. This line in the Baltimore Cardinals game might as well as be 18.5. I'm all in on Baltimore after that game. The defense was humming. Lamar Jackson was throwing the ball. Cardinals suck. Give me Baltimore minus 8.5. I think they win this game by 10 points or more.
10 points, yeah. I think when you could at 8.5 feels like a lot at first, but then you kind of play those scores in your head, right? 20-10, 24-14, and it's like, oh yeah, I could see that very easily being this Ravens game. They look good, man. Baltimore, I think they're going to go on a run here for about 6 games.
I agree.
And then, and then Lamar might get a little dinged up or something later on, but they're going to go on a run right now. I love this pick. I had this pick highlighted, so I'm going to go to my other pick.
I mean, play San Francisco right now. Like I'm staying away from that game. Joe Burrow about to light up the Niners and going to have 3 straight losses. So I'm sticking away from that. But yeah, give me Baltimore -8.5.
I like it. I'm going to travel with. I might be a little biased here because of the defense that I played, but I last week in our fantasy matchup. But the Bears, feeling like some Bears right now. And you know what? It's more the Chargers than the Bears. And I like Bears +8.5 here on the road. But yeah. I have a clip to help us like understand why I don't like the Chargers here. So let's play this clip here real quick.
Been to the circus, you know what I mean? They've been to the puppet show and they've seen the strange.
They've been to the puppet show. Jared, I've been to the puppet show. I've seen the Chargers. They're not going to fool me anymore. I've been to the puppet show.
The Chargers have been shoplifting the Pootie all season.
Justin Herbert, Eckler, they're all shoplifting the Pootie. Where are they? Okay. I don't know what's happening. Keenan Allen, they all got the Pootie. The only one that's playing well is my boy Josh Palmer. So keep catching the balls, but don't drop touchdowns. So 8.5, there's no way they cover. There's no home field advantage here. The afternoon games, I think, are always weird. I like the Bears, man. I don't care who they're trotting out at quarterback. Give me +8.5, Chicago.
I don't disagree with you. I'm going to, I don't know if they call this a Subway Series because these teams play at the same stadium, but New York is a buzz on Sunday at noon, 1 o'clock Eastern. But I have zero. I know the Giants had a better week this week. I have zero faith in them. Jets feeling rested. Jets -3, Corey. Book it.
You think Rodgers is coming back this year?
This season? Maybe. I don't know. Like, I just believe in that defense. Like, it's funny. There's so many. I don't remember ever seeing a week with this many sub 40 over unders. Like, this game is a sub 40 over under. Cleveland at Seattle, Atlanta at Tennessee. So there's like, sorry, that's another all the Titans games are under 40 points because they can't do crap. But I think there's some temptation there. But the Jets and coming off that big win a couple weeks ago, and I just feel like that team is rallying right now. I don't think the Giants have any hope here. So give me the Jets -3.
All right, man. Jets -3. Let's roll. I locked it in. We good. I'm going to my next game, but we got to ride our Jerry Maguire here. Let's go.
Help me. Help you. Help me. Help you. Help me. Help you.
Help me. Help you. I'm looking at a game here, Jared, with 2 rookie quarterbacks, CJ Stroud and our boy Bryce Young, who should have been on the Seahawks, who should have tanked last year, but that's another story. Help me, rookie quarterback. Help you, rookie quarterback. I think there's going to be points scored. I don't think Houston or Carolina cares to play much defense here. Give me over 43 points. Over 43 points seems very low. I think both these teams, Jared, are going to be. It's like you got the new car. You want to get it out of the garage, and then your friends got a new car. Like, man, let's go, let's race. They're not holding back here. So CJ Stroud, Bryce Young, they're putting up points. 43 points over should be easily achieved here. Give me that. Help me.
I like it. You may this may be the pick this is either going to be the pick that does us in, or that sets the parlay at a higher rate, I shall say.
Oh no.
So we have the very hot Jacksonville Jaguars traveling to Pittsburgh this week. And I don't think they're ready for this Pittsburgh defense. Calvin Ridley, all those boys. I don't need your stinking 2.5 points being the home team. Money line, Pittsburgh against Jacksonville. Book it.
Why does this have to be a noon game? Why couldn't this be like Sunday night? Like, why do we have to lose the parlay in the beginning?
First, just get your hopes over with. But I don't know. Like, you've got Pittsburgh. I think they're playing well. They're a sneaky 4-2. One of us was quoted on this as saying Tomlin's not going to have a winning season. Clearly, that individual is delusional. And
that individual is scared of this game now.
Potentially rabid, this individual is. And I think Pittsburgh comes out of this 5-2, and then we're looking down the schedule of them heading into like a really great game. Let's see. Let me see what week that is. Let me see. Oh, yeah, there we go. Last game of the season. A rematch against the Ravens, who they've already beaten, mind you. So I don't know. You look at this, they've beaten the Rams, they've beaten the Ravens, they've beaten the Browns. Now they did lose to the Texans.
Yeah, okay. And what was the other line? And the Niners.
And the Niners twice. They beat them twice. Corey, the NFL is all about trends. It's all about momentum and where you're heading now. They're home for this game. Done deal. Tomlin's got the boys ready to go.
Tomlin's got the boys. I'll say two things about this game. I had it picked, but I chose the over because I wasn't sure which way I wanted to go here. I could see Lawrence scoring points and then some cleanup at the end with our George Pickens and doing their thing at the end of the game, losing. But I'll root for the win, even though you're right. I did choose for them to go 8-9 this year and not finish 500 like he always does, Tomlin does. But 8-9 is a long season still. So 5-2 could spiral to 8-9. So I will be rooting hard for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I hope your boy Najee finally gets 2 touchdowns in one game.
We got Najee, and I'm throwing Johnson's off the IR. So
yeah,
you're throwing him back in the mix this week. Let's go.
The Steelers defense.
Oh yeah, no, I'm benching Najee. I'm starting Chuba Hubbard.
You're good.
Against Chuba, putting him in, baby.
Get Chuba. Why did they name him Chuba? Like I don't know. It's probably a family name Chuba. I want to take us down. Your boys that let us down last week, the Detroit Lions.
Oh, you're going with Detroit. Is this purely a Monday night pick? Is this purely like a drama?
I like it.
Pick?
This will be it's twofold because this is my track record from last week. Give me 1 second. Oh yeah, they scored 12 points. The Raiders do not score 20 points. They don't. They actually have it's contractually they're obligated contractually is what I was trying to say, to not score more than 20 points all season. If they do, they get fined. So give me under 45.5.
Wow.
Raiders at the Lions. I know this is indoors. I get it. Devontae Adams, blah, blah, blah. I think Detroit comes out and just smacks them in the mouth. They win 27-3. Like it's like Detroit lays down the wood. Give me under 45.5 on Monday Night Football.
Okay.
Under. Raiders ain't scoring points here. Not doing it. I've seen it. It doesn't happen.
Well, let me recap real quick. I want to get to our mortgage, and then we do have a little NBA to talk by the end of our episode.
Yeah, we do. Let me do a little score check while you're doing that.
Oh, absolutely. So noon games, what we're looking at, Pittsburgh taking the money line at home, plus 128. Corey saying battle of rookie quarterbacks. Down in Carolina, take the over here. That's currently set at 43. We've got the Jets versus the Giants. New York is all a buzz. And, I mean, Taylor Swift isn't even there. So this could be a fun one. But -3, I'm taking the Jets here. Believe in that defense and that they can put up at least a touchdown. Wouldn't be surprised if that one pushed, though, but we'll risk it. Baltimore, believe in Baltimore. They're hot right now. They're going to go on a midseason run. -8.5 is nothing against the trash Cardinals. They're the better birds, Corey. They're the better birds right now. Corey's hot on Chicago because his defense trounced my fantasy team by themselves last week. But I do agree with you. The Los Angeles Chargers are an absolute dumpster fire. So Bears plus 8.5. I like that a lot. And then Raiders going into Detroit. Detroit is good and pissed off, and the Raiders are just flat bad. I don't think it matters if Garoppolo is playing in this game or not. Under 45.5. $10 on that 6-leg parlay. That's going to win you $603.38.
We aren't we? Well, the halfway point of the year is week 9, right? And
Yes.
that would mark our year and a half of doing the parlay of not hitting it. We have 3 years to hit this parlay.
We have 3 years to hit this.
Okay.
Well, I mean, if we're getting odds like this, technically more.
Okay,
Three,
well,
three and a third.
3 1/3. Well, I like 3. It's a round number, or it's whatever number. It's easy to track. So I want us to hit this before the halfway point, because then I start getting a little nervous. Then I'm like, ooh, we only have a year and a half left to hit this parlay. Let's hit it this week. Let's get this out of the way. House money for the next year and a half.
Love
like it.
Love it. So where we going for our mortgage? You've promised a trend breaking week this week, and I'm very curious.
Normally I come in with a lot of confidence here on this pick. It's a mortgage bet, right? You're betting your house on it, so you should feel confident. I'm not feeling confident. I like it. I put it in. I enjoy. I'm going to tell you what it is. But as I lay this bet down, I wish there was a scenario kind of like this, like I'm going to lay out to you right now.
Sam, we go back a long way. I need this new highway contract. I don't get it, and I go under. That's a fact. Just have some of this fine pie my missus made especially for you. You think about that.
Ned, I wouldn't worry too much about this contract. Seems to me I already got my boys committed elsewhere. You be sure and thank Maisie for this fine pie.
Oh my gosh, you busted out the Shawshank. I can't believe that.
You go thank Miss Maisie now for this fine pie. If I could get a pie delivered to these two stadiums with some dollar bills in them, I would.
Oh my
gosh. Poor Ned. He just wanted the highway contract, Jared. What are these privately owned prisons doing? What kind of business? What people get into business of that?
Oh my gosh. This is too much right now. I can't. I'm too tired and laughing too hard to appropriately respond to this.
So we're going, Miss Maisie. She's made her pie. We're going to Seattle. You knew we were going there. You just didn't know what I was going to choose. I'm taking the over here. I think Cleveland played a weird game last week. They scored 1 trillion points because it was a weird game. I wanted to take Seattle, tease down the points, get plus 1.5. I don't know. I think we're going to win. I know we're going to win, but I'm taking the over. Plus 35 points once we tease this down. 35 points. Okay. Geno's still playing. I think Metcalf will be back. Lockett's back. Cleveland seems to put up points regardless because they're just weird the way they score. So 35 points. These teams, Cleveland says they have a good defense. I haven't seen it. But Seattle, we're a work in progress. So give me plus 35 points here. Afternoon game. I we'll get there. 24-13. Weird score. That's 36, right? Or 37. We'd be fine. Then you mentioned him earlier. You said stay away. I want to dive in. I want to dive into Bengals 49ers.
Oh, baby.
I think there is blood in the water. The Bengals smell it. This is a team that has pride. They're playing well right now. Give me Cincinnati plus 10, Jared. Plus 10.
Ooh.
Plus 10.
Okay.
That's crazy. Burrow will keep the game close. Brock Purdy, man, he was Mr. I'd ever lose regular season games. You lost 2 in a row, buddy.
Yeah, he
shook.
He shook,
man. You shook. And honestly, you should have beat the Vikings last week, or on Monday. Oh, what are you doing, Brock? So I don't know what's going on. I do think the NFL is like we've talked about, they make adjustments. So each week it probably needs to flip-flop. But the Niners now have put 2 bad weeks together, and I think the Bengals come in. Niners may still squeak this out, but the Niners field goal kicker is in a funk. Moody, that guy can't make 40-yarders right now.
Yeah, blew a game, man. They should be a one-loss team right now. They should be an undefeated team right now, if I'm being real.
He's got the yips, man. So give me Bengals with a ton of confidence going to San Francisco, where they ain't scared of this game, +10. So your mortgage is Cincinnati +10, and Browns Seahawks over 5 points, which it just should be a joke. She'd be fine, but just in case, my wife can make some pies and we'll get them delivered to the stadium. Amazing.
I love it so much. That's really going to wrap us up for NFL. Like I said, I want to make some time to talk to some NBA. Corey, you placed some bets earlier today for opening day, which is, as of the recording, is 10/24. Talk us through some NBA. What's going on? What did you lay for tonight's game? Last year you went on quite an early tear, kind of fell into a rut mid-season. How did you finish up last year?
So percentage wise, we were right at the 60%. It was like 59.78, something like that. We'll round up. So not bad. We picked, the way the NBA season goes for me, we do 2-team parlay and we tease the points. So, we get a little love, but we make it even money. So +100 for each bet. So ideally we're favored in both matchups. But yeah, 60%, Jared. Again, man, that's, I could just move to Vegas and just do this for a living, and hopefully people will follow us and win some money along with charity. So, but yeah, that went well. Tonight, our first night back. This pod won't drop until later this week, so this already would have happened. So you might be able to call me out if I lose this bet. But the tease tonight was Nuggets -3, which they won by 12. So good job, Jokic. And Phoenix plus, I want to say, what did I say earlier? 3.5, 4.5. Phoenix plus 4.5 against Golden State. Right now, Phoenix is up 14 in the third quarter. So that I don't think KD is going to let that one go. So no. I think this tonight, I don't want to jinx it, so I'm not going to say nothing, but maybe we start out 1-0. So yeah, the NBA, I'm glad it's back. There was some movement, right? I think there's some definite contenders in the East. Very top loaded, right? You got your Milwaukee, you got your Boston, maybe Philly. You always have Miami lurking there. But then on the other side, the West, man, there's like 12 teams that can make the playoffs. They're all just like bunched together. So it's going to be an interesting year with spreads, because I think we're going to go into a lot of games with it being pretty close if they're like Western teams playing each other, West Coast teams playing each other. And then there's some teams, my beloved Blazers, we're probably going to tank. But you know what? That actually helps, because sometimes we can play around with those spreads. And if the Blazers may be close in certain games, well, we're going to tease them down and we'll get some points there. So I think it'll be a good year, man. I'm excited. It'll be interesting NBA season. I don't know. Do you think the Nuggets will repeat? Can you see them repeating?
I can, purely because okay, so I would say, let me say this. I think Jokic is a superstar in the NBA. So you have your superstar, right?
Yeah.
But then, I wouldn't call Murray a superstar just yet. If he has another amazing season, whatever. But that team moves as Jokic moves, right? So, yeah. But what's sensational is the rest of their team is built of A and B list players. Like you have Jokic at this S tier. You have Jamal, who could be, but that team is stacked. It's so stacked. When you look around at the rest of the league, you just don't have, you have superstars, but then you look at the rest of the team and it's just don't show me the weakness on this Denver team. I feel like the odds makers in terms of futures completely disrespected them. There's a lot of hype in Milwaukee and I understand why, but they don't, if you look at a full roster, I don't think they're the best team. I would even pick the Celtics if you look at a full roster coming out of them, especially with all the trades and everything that happened. I don't know. I think Denver's biggest stumbling block is a Suns team, ironically, from this night. I'm not worried about the Warriors, not worried about the Lakers. I'm not really worried about anybody else coming at the West. But, like, finally, I think we're going to see, like, a full season with Booker and Durant, and that's terrifying.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's utterly terrifying. You know, they got rid of Ayton, they got some things moving around, but, like, yeah, I would take the Nuggets to repeat if you gave, like, at the odds that there are right now.
Yeah, I mean, Bradley Beal, you know, on Phoenix. I mean, how's he going to gel? You have a big scorer, you know, when we play defense, but yeah, Phoenix, I think, is that team that can hang with Denver, and you know, they make some trades this year. They pick up Nurkic, used to be on the Blazers, right?
Yeah.
My boy Nurk, and there will be a thing. Nurk he knows how to play Jokic. Just because they were teammates for a long time. Anytime we'd play Denver, I feel like Portland went into it with, like, I'm going to say an edge, but he played Jokic well. And now Phoenix has that. They can throw him at Jokic and play him straight up. So, like, I think the Nurk pickup was a good counter just for the Denver matchup. But, yeah, I mean, Phoenix, you know what I mean, man, they were my pick last year. I think they'll probably be my pick again this year. And then there's just the ultimate asterisk, the Clippers, because it's always the biggest what if team of the last 3 years of, like, if they could stay healthy, which they won't be able to. But it's like, if they did, you know, they're scary, but you know, Kawhi and Paul George are going to get hurt. So, but yeah,
I don't think they have enough to get over the hump. I don't think the Clippers have enough to get over the hump.
I don't think they do either, but I do think they're scary if at full strength, but I don't think that exists anymore. I think you got Jokic. They've just built a basketball team around him. Like, they just, you know, a lot of people, I use this all the time. You and I could play in the Denver Nuggets. Like, we would have open shots with Jokic. So
yeah,
that's just how that man plays, and they can just throw shooters and defenders around him, and they'll be 50 win team. They were like 51.5 was their over this year. Like, or was the over under for wins? Man, pick the over. I don't know what people were doing on that one. Like, that's a lock, 55, 56 wins, you know, provided that they stay healthy and all that stuff. So,
well, just a little update. The Warriors are now down by 3.
No.
And it's swinging back the other way pretty hard here.
Curry, he's going off. He's going off. I spoke too early. I jinxed it. We should just do, like, the live podcast and just, like, call these games as they go.
That'd be so funny.
You know, Jared, I've seen the Warriors play enough that it makes me think of this.
Been to the circus, you know what I mean? They've been to the puppet show and they've seen the strings.
I've seen it. It's no lead is safe. I've been to the puppet show called the Warriors. I've seen the string. Okay, Curry is the circus act. He's the head circus guy. He's not a point guard. He's not a shooting guard.
The ringleader.
He's the ringleader. He's the gimmick, man. He's the all-time gimmick. You know. I used to have a good debate against him and another point guard that I can't talk about. It just doesn't have the same flair anymore. So I kind of lost some luster. But
it's true.
Whatever.
Portland is the breeding ground, kind of the farm system for a lot of other great teams.
we give a lot of good players away. Like, you look at the bench of the Clippers is like, Powell and Covington. Yeah, they were on our team. Yep, that's true. Nurkic now. Oh yeah, he'll swing Phoenix's odds. You got Lillard on Milwaukee. Oh, they're like a favorite. You got CJ on the Pelicans. They're a what if team. Like, it's just, we just give them away. Take them. Connington.
Portland's more like a AAA club. You know, bring them up from the minors. Come on.
I feel like Home Alone. Cheeks, Boney Bob. Maybe a preview of a clip for next week.
I was about to say, I'm imagining now there's going to be definitely some Home Alone clips coming in next week.
Jared, the amount of clips I have in my in my holster, you don't even know.
Oh, it's too. We haven't even delved into the Austin Powers. Like, there's so much yet to come.
There's some good TV shows too that I have some clips for, so you're not expecting. So.
I can't wait. I was not. I mean, I should have been expecting Shawshank Tonight after our conversation earlier today. I should have seen that coming, but I thought it was going to be more of a hope Hope is a dangerous thing.
Hope.
Morgan Freeman telling us about hope.
Oh gosh, that'll be another time. That I did write down Shawshank after we talked about it on the phone earlier. I was like, oh, I gotta pull that clip. Love it, man. Love it. Well, hey, we're gonna hit this mortgage. We're gonna hit our parlay. We're gonna be fat and happy. And then we rolling in. We're just gonna hit it the next week too. You know, Jared, once we hit the parlay, we're gonna hit it again. That's just how
I'd love
works.
to go back-to-back parlay weeks. That would make me very excited.
If we hit the parlay, can we agree we'd put $100 down the next week on the parlay?
Absolutely. You know, our charities probably wouldn't appreciate that, but, but you know what? Absolutely.
I'll slide him a pie, Jared. We'll be all right. They'll be all right.
The show just keeps getting more and more corrupt as we keep going. Just more and more corrupt.
I want to talk about the business model of a prison. Let's chat about that for a minute.
Well, that'll be our other podcast. What was it? The inner workings of evil or whatever, that great podcast title we had.
Man, we had a good one. I can't remember off the top of my head, but it was pretty spectacular. One day we will debut that pod. It'll be fantastic. So
too good.
All right, amigo. We rolling.
All right. Week 8 NFL, starting week, NBA, and then be sure we've got some other little esports podcasts coming out as Worlds is going on for League of Legends. Be sure to check those out as well.
Check them out, baby. Let's go.
Let's do it. All right. For week 8, Benjamin Betts. This is Jared and Corey. We'll catch y'all next time.
Yeah.
This has been a Rogue Media Network production.
Frozen heroes. Gonna tell you about frozen heroes. Gonna tell you about.
Hey, I'm Zach.
And I'm Mike.
And we have a fantastic new podcast to tell you about. Bros, Foes, and Heroes. It's the two of us looking into the world of comics, breaking down some characters that you may have never heard of, and some that are just absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, so Zach comes up with a character each time, and I go into it just completely blind. I don't know who this person is or what their abilities are or anything, and basically I guess we kind of go over their origin story and just some of the ridiculous stuff that maybe, especially Golden Age stuff.
Oh, Golden Age stuff is always the best, and we will make sure to highlight all of the shenanigans and just absolute weirdness of everything.
Yeah, that's right. So subscribe today and follow us on Instagram at Bros, Foes, Heroes.
And if you don't, I know where you live. Not really, but please subscribe.
Frozen heroes. Gonna tell you about frozen heroes. Gonna tell you about.
Hi, I'm Hank. You might remember me from a show called King of the Hill. Check out a King of the Hill rewatch podcast. These boys ain't right, but they are funny. Find the podcast anywhere you get your podcasts or at roguemedianetwork.com. I tell you what.